the relationship that you both have is not what's considered a traditional old school relationship where the man is like the head of the household, and the roles are kind of reversed. And how much do you appreciate the fact that you have this progressive modern type of relationship where the Iranian man is such a great supporter of what you love and what you're passionate about? How has that helped your relationship? How's that helped your career? And kind of touch on that, because I love that about him.
That's a really tough question. I'm glad that you asked. You said man is not the head of the household. No, you know what? With Bruce, and I say this with so much love and admiration that no two people can go through life without the utmost support and love and respect for each other's dreams.
Right.
So, Bruce doesn't always agree with the things that I do in life. He doesn't always like the things I do in life and the choices I make, and vice versa. There's sometimes that I'll see him, choose to do something, and I'm like, oh, why? Why? But I feel like when two people are married and you love somebody, you love them for what they want to do and what their dreams are. Like Bruce's dreams are not my dreams. Some of them are, like our
Right.
family and maybe to go to Italy together. But I don't dream about getting in like cars and going rum rum rum. Like that's just not my thing.
Right.
And Bruce doesn't dream about sitting and having mehmoonies on a Friday night and doing podcasts. But I will get into Bruce's car every once in a while and let him go rum, rum, rum while I'm holding on for dear life. And Bruce will sit down on a Friday night. And I know that sometimes he's like, why are you dragging me into this? And he'll sit and now he brings jokes and he's dancing with me. And I know he does that because he knows that's important to me. And when you show up for somebody equally, it's not you do more, I do more, you do less. It's not a game. Like when you're in marriage, you can't do marriage like that. You just got to show up, each one of you 100%, be responsible for yourself every day. And some days that I want to show up 80%, that he shows up 120%. Like you got to learn how to dance with somebody like that.
I love that. That's a beautiful analogy, to be able to dance. And one time he leads, sometimes you lead, and together it's a beautiful dance from start to finish. But I do know that in addition to the great communication you have together, the support you guys have for one another, one thing that you preach about a lot, which I love, is having a consultant, having a marriage a therapist or counselor, basically like a sounding board to kind of go to them. Can you kind of share just the benefits of that has had on your relationship, and how much you recommend other couples to get into? Because I know,
Absolutely.
especially in the Persian community, as you know, there is this stigma about basically no, 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 like, why would I do this? We can do this on our own. Like, it's this ego that gets in between, seeking advice from people who do this as a living. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about that.
I usually, Imanja, I don't tend to like the word preach because I don't want to ever use my platforms that I have to tell people what to think. The only thing that I will tell people is to dance more, eat more gourmet sabzi, hug your family more, love harder, live harder, sleep harder, vacation harder. That stuff I will preach to you, but I'm not here to preach like what your political beliefs should be and
Sure.
and how you should manage relationships in your life. But there is one thing very near and dear to me that I will go to the toppest mountain and I will scream it at the top of my lungs, is that just as you take care of your teeth and you go to the dentist and they clean everything and you get your x-rays and then you go to the doctor and they draw your blood, you check your cholesterol and your sugar to make sure you're not diabetic. Just the other day I did an ultrasound to make sure like thyroid and stuff is okay. Why are we not taking care of our brains? This is another organ in our body. And you might not think what you're feeling, that anxiety, that tiredness, that sadness, that anger, the relationships that you have with one another um, has anything to do with here. But if, in my opinion, this is the most important thing. You should be checking this thing out before checking everything else out, and not checking it out with just ameo, khaleo, all the, that's good to obviously have a support system to talk to. But there are trained professionals. There are doctors who understand what's happening in here and that can help. And it doesn't mean medication. I personally, I don't take any medication. And if you take medication, then good on you. If you were able to find that support and it balances you and brings you peace in your life, good for you. My medication is to go to somebody and talk when I don't feel good, when I have anxiety, when I'm scared, when I see that the world, I'm like, what is going on? How are we going to raise our kids? When my kid does something and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why is he doing this? Like, nobody gave me a book on how to raise 4 kids. Nobody gave me a manual on how to be a good wife and be married to Bruce. And the times that he's getting on my nerves and I'm letting the anger just take over, sometimes it's finding someone who is neutral, who can take that emotion and rage and fear and anxiety and whatever it is that is so natural for all of us to feel, to peel it off so you can go, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Bruce. I was kind of being a jerk. But when we don't have those tools and you let the ego get in this way and you're mimicking other people's behavior, you think you know what you're doing. I tend to find when I can only speak about my own experience when I look back in my life, I like who I am today. I like how I can handle things better today. And I very openly say that I have such a stressful life, Iman. I mean, I see bad things happen to people every single day for 4 hours minimum a day. Right. Bad things that happen to good people come out of my mouth over and over and over and over again. So you can imagine what that does to my psyche sometimes. Of course. And I'm a softie and I'm a mom. So I turn to that because I was getting sad. And that anger and that sadness sometimes would come into my relationships, my friendships, into my family, into my relationship with my husband. And it took a lot of years, and I still go. Just like I brush my teeth, just like I go to the gym, I'll just go sit sometimes. I'll have nothing to talk about. And then something will come up and I'll talk about something.
What would you say is the best advice that a professional therapist gave to your marriage that you hadn't previously ever considered? Is there something that kind of sticks out?
Yeah, there's one thing that I've carried with me is time, tact, and dose. When you say something, how you say something, and how much of what you say. So like if I really want a yes answer from Beirut or something, let me just make something up. Like I want to buy like a new toothbrush. If I go to Beirut at a time that he just walked in the house and he's had a crappy day at work, this is the last worst moment to go ask him to buy a toothbrush. Like I need to calculate and say, you know what, he's in a good mood in the morning when he's well, like rested. Let me just wait till that time, and how much I say of it and how I say it. All these forms of communication, really, they're so simple when you get it, but they're so complex from the outside. So that's one thing that has really stuck with me, is that to be very sensitive to him and his world and his stresses as well, that it's not all about Shally and let's get ready for the baby. Maybe the badbacht, he's tired, he doesn't want to do it. So
timing is everything. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Awesome, people. I appreciate you watching this segment. To watch the full video, which you should, please click up here. And then if you want to join our text community, the number is right about here. And even though you don't need no reminders and you've heard it a billion times, if you like the video, subscribe, hit the little ring of ding-a-ding-ding bell so you can be notified for our next video. Thank you so much and appreciate you watching. Awesome, people.